This guy got funded 9 times for over $900,000 strictly using this Forex prop firm robot. And I want you to just imagine for a second being able to have an automated system, a robot that's literally setting up and passing prop firm challenges for you so you could get funded literally an endless amount of trading capital. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how he's done that. I'm going to explain to you the robot that he's using, how it was created, and the specifics of it, as well as how you can use that exact same robot if you'd like and only pay for it if it actually helps you get funded. Okay, so the guy that you see on screen right here, his name is Michael Sislow. He's an engineer from California, and he had been trading Forex unprofitably for like 2 years. He came in and he joined our community. He's been absolutely knocking it out of the park. He actually just said, he sent us this picture. This was like a month ago. He said, I'm on my way to Tahiti with the fam right now, literally typing this on the plane. And with this week's gains, my trip was entirely paid for by my Forex profits. Thank you, Blue Edge Financial. This whole journey has been life-changing. And so I knew that he was doing well, but I wanted to know how well he was actually doing. So I went inside of our Discord community and he said, holy smokes, for the win again. This is one of our strategies for the win again. I'd fully given up on this, but So I saw he passed another one. And then I said, how many challenges have you passed now? I passed 8 challenges with these strategies, all using the robot. Pretty incredible. And then I got this message again inside of our Discord community where he passed another prop firm challenge. So that's now 9. And I know the vast majority of these were $100,000 accounts. And I think even a couple of them were $200,000 accounts. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if he's actually in reality be funded over $1 million all using a Forex robot. Hey, and by the way, if you just like to give this a try to see if it works or not, then go on over to propfarming.com. You can see more details about how this robot works in specifics and how you can use it and only pay for it if you actually get funded. So about 3 years ago, we started developing a robot for passing prop firm challenges because prop firms can be an amazing thing. They can allow you to get access to a lot of trading capital for a very, very small risk, right? Just the challenge fee. Now, as you know, passing a prop firm challenge is not an easy thing, and the numbers show that only like 6% of traders actually pass both phase 1 and phase 2. I'm going to show you how we've 10x those odds in just a second, but it's powerful because this is an asymmetric risk to reward opportunity, right? We can risk this small amount on a challenge fee and potentially get $100,000 worth of trading capital. Now, it's not easy, right? Because you have to do a 10% profit target and have no more than 10% maximum loss overall or maximum drawdown overall on the account, which in reality, when you think about this, this is like doing 100% on your account without blowing your account, which is really difficult to do. So here's what we did to create this. So first things first is what we did is we just started off with a really simple dollar cost averaging bot, which there's a million of them on the market. So if you're not familiar, dollar cost averaging bots are really, really simple. That's all they do is they dollar cost average. And while this is a strategy that can work, it's extremely risky if this is the only feature that's built into it, because all it does is it basically, as price goes lower, it'll buy, and then as price even goes lower, it'll try and buy again, and then price goes even lower and it'll try to go and buy again. And you're basically just trying to time the bottom for when the market reverses, and then you go ahead and you take profit. Now, the challenge with this is it has very poor risk to reward, as you can imagine, because we're buying, stacking orders, waiting for the market to hopefully reverse and change trend, which sometimes never happens. So this is how Titan X started. It was a really, really simple dollar cost averaging bot. And then we realized that we need to beef this thing up. So what we did is we went onto the marketplace and we bought all of the best bots on the market. We bought all of our competitors' products and we figured out what were the features that worked actually well for passing prop firm challenges and what stuff didn't really matter. And so essentially we put together all of these best features into Titan X and basically built this behemoth of a bot that can pretty much do anything. I mean, it can do dollar cost averaging, it can trade with the trend, it can trade based on certain candlesticks, it can trade based on certain indicators, and it can also do hedging. It can do a combination of a whole bunch of different stuff, which has made it really, really robust. But the secret wasn't just in coding in all of these different features to build like this really robust, expert advisor that could do all of these different things. But the real secret sauce was in the optimization of these different features, because now we have it at a point where it can do a million different things, but we may only want it to do a few things, whatever's going to work best to pass the prop firm challenges. So my partner Joe, he basically locked himself in his room for like the past 3 years. He hired this whole team of developers and testers and optimizers, and all they're trying to do is take all of these settings and figure out what were the best settings that could actually pass prop firm challenges challenges at the highest clip. And so essentially after a while, we finally came out with something that was called the Golden Goose. And in the spreadsheet, you'll see the results of it. But basically, we've broken it down into columns where this column represents phase 1 of a challenge. And then in this column, this represents phase 2 of the challenge. Okay. And essentially what we gathered from this data was we took a prop firm challenge every single week for like the past almost like 2 years. And we saw that we had 58 passes and 28 fails, meaning that we could pass phase 1 about 67% of the time. And on average, it took us 8 days to do this, right? This is the 10% profit with no more than 10% max loss or 5% max loss in a day. And then we also did the verification, which is a little bit easier, granted why the pass rate is higher, up to 82%. And we found that we could do this in on an average of 3.43 days. So if we combine these two numbers on average over the course of like the past couple years, we had a funded rate of about 55%, which is an important thing to note here because it's not a system that will pass 100% of the time, but I'll show you in just a second why this is still extremely, extremely powerful. Now, we wanted to make sure that not only this worked in a back-tested historical environment, which is good to show the robustness of the system, but we also wanted to make sure it worked well in the future. And so we started testing it in the future, and we saw that we started testing it in live market conditions, and we saw that we still had a relatively close pass rate as we did before. Now, this was the original, what we call Golden Goose, which started passing challenges really well. And the results from it have been pretty phenomenal. If you just scroll back here through our Discord channel, you'll be able to see people getting payouts. You'll be able to see people passing prop firm challenges, other people getting payouts, more people getting payouts. The amount of people that I think we've helped, maybe over 200 people pass prop firm challenges and actually get funded, which is pretty incredible. And a ton of other people that actually received payouts as well, and more on the way every single day. So this was the original Golden Goose strategy. And then we started tinkering with it to see, hey, could we get it even better? Could we make even better results? And we came out with something called the Golden Goose DG, which is the daily goal Golden Goose, which is just a different variation of these settings, which was able to pass phase 1 73% of the time and phase 2 83% of the time, which gave us a funded rate of 61%, which is pretty incredible. And just to give you an idea of how powerful this is, let's go ahead and put in our numbers of 73% and 83%. So this is the little calculator that we built. So if we pass phase 1 73% of the time and we pass phase 2 83% of the time with an account size of say $100,000, let's say that it cost us $500, which is kind of industry average, and we had a profit split of 80%, meaning we take 80% of the profits. This would give us our funded ratio of 61%, which basically means it would cost us $825 to get a $100,000 funded account. Now, if I spend $500 on average, I could profit $3,841 per challenge if I go for a 10% profit target, or $2,314 if I go for a 5% profit target. So according to these numbers, you could risk $500 and almost every time make around $3,841, which is pretty insane. Now, granted, right, this is historical data, so there may be some variations in the live market, and back tests don't necessarily equal the future test or current live market conditions, but from what we've seen is they match up pretty close. So now one other thing that we learned with passing prop firm challenges, specifically using robots, is that not all strategies will work forever because the market conditions change, as you probably know. And maybe if you've traded with a robot in the past and you've seen it work really, really well for a long time, and then it eventually ends up blowing up or it stops working, that's because the market conditions have changed. And if you don't adapt with the current market conditions, then the strategy will become obsolete and it'll no longer work. So we had this idea essentially to basically crowdsource from all of our members that are using our Titan X robot. And essentially anytime that they ran a test, the data would automatically be gathered up and installed into this leaderboard, which was really an interesting idea because if you think about Tesla, for example, how are they building their self-driving cars? Every single one of their users has this computer on their car, which is essentially giving Tesla back data all the time, right? For example, if somebody is on self-driving feature, but they turn a little bit earlier than when Tesla's car was intended to drive, then it gives them data. It says, hey, we may need to turn left a little bit earlier on Johnson Street. And the reason why Tesla is becoming such a powerful company is because it has access to lots and lots of data from people using their product. So we did the same exact thing here. Anytime somebody runs a test with our Titan X robot, it automatically gets uploaded into this leaderboard, and then all of our members can actually see which is the best strategy to be trading. So the really cool part about this leaderboard is all of the data gets uploaded here in real time, so we can see which strategies are working best. And you can see the strategy that's working best currently has a 75% success rate, and it has a score of 280, which basically is a weighted score where we weight the most current market data heavier than data that happened like a year ago, for example. So the cool thing about it is that people can just download these settings, they install it into a robot, and boom, off to the races they go. So back to Michael. How was he able to become so successful with this? Well, I think the main reason was that he actually understood how to think in probabilities. He understood that this system is not a system that'll pass a prop firm challenge 100% of the time, but he still notices that he has an edge. And so all he does is he trades by the rules, and he just continues to take prop firm challenges, understanding that some of the times he's going to fail and some of the times he's going to pass. And he just thinks of this completely in terms of probabilities, much like how a casino would think in terms of probabilities. And that's really been his secret to success. Now, the next thing that you need to do is if you're interested in seeing how we pass over 300 prop firm challenges using this robot, then check out this video on the screen right now.